Hi, everyone, and welcome to the London Community Week podcast, the official podcast of London Community Week, a global event all about building meaningful long term communities. I'm your host, Kate Bova. Whether you work at a startup, a nonprofit, or a global SaaS brand, if you believe that community is more than a buzzword and plays a real role in growth and connection, then the podcast is for you. This episode is brought to you, as usual, with our support to our incredible partners led by Community, Gainsight, Circle, Heyorka, Canva, Bevy, Discourse, and Mansion. Together, they are helping the community industry thrive by providing the tools to grow, to engage, and make real difference at scale. With us today is a special guest, Estela Valeova. Estela is a seasoned community strategist and manager who has dedicated her career to helping digital community thrive. With a strong marketing background and a passion for fostering engagement and trust, she has played a key role in developing and growing some of the most active and successful communities in a print on demand space and beyond. Beyond her day to day work, Estelle is passionate about transforming communities into dynamic, self sustaining ecosystems. She has led countless successful initiatives from onboarding journeys and interactive campaigns to mentorship programs and feedback loops, always with an eye on member experience and long term growth. She's also co-founder of UXscape, a retreat experience that blends UX design and community building in a nature-inspired setting, helping designers reconnect with their craft and each other. Estella's approach is all about turning community into a meaningful and human experience that sparks real transformation. Estella, nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm very happy to be here.
So let's start with you. Tell us more about your role, right, and how the kinds of digital projects or communities you are working with.
So hi everyone. First of all, I'm Estela, as Kateryna introduced me. I am currently the team lead at Printify and Printful. They are both print-on-demand platforms, and together with my team, we are running fast-growing communities for print-on-demand merchants. We currently run two flagship communities on Facebook, both with over 30,000 members. We also are running a learning and mentorship community called Sellers Club on one of our amazing sponsors here, Circle. And we have there more than 50,000 members. And we are also working on two ambassador communities, which are more tight knit and for our more high intent and high impact contributors. On weekends, I also work on UXscape. It's again a very tight knit educational format retreat for product designers. In short, that's about me. I like people and turning them from strangers to neighbors.
Yeah, mind blown by that perspective. Thank you so much for sharing. How did you first get into the world of community building? Was this always the plan, or more of a happy accident?
Mm. The origins. So honestly, for me, it started as kind of happy accident that quickly became like a very deliberate obsession that I decided to work towards. As you also mentioned, I've been working for quite a lot of years in marketing. So I started first as growth marketing, then growth marketing manager, and yeah, I just kept gravitating from marketing to working more with the people. So I was like jumping into their DMs, designing their experiences, speaking to them, interviewing them, just a lot of people doing and people making and matchmaking with them. So yeah, I didn't call it community. I just loved making people feel connected to each other, whatever the business I was working with was. So one day it kind of hit me. okay, I'm doing community. I watched a podcast about it, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to really stick to this one. So I started like binging podcasts and like reading psychology papers as well, social psychology books, stuff, and everything. And I think it really made sense to me from like the beginning, since it really fit also what I studied, because I majored in communications and business with marketing. So it was really there all along without me realizing this. So
Yeah.
once that clicked into my head, I was like Alice in Wonderland, falling down the rabbit hole that I never looked back from it. I'm just happy about what I'm doing, and I just love it.
Mhm.
So this
Wow.
is how it went.
Wow, wow, wow. Such a gem of a story. And I think marketing background helps you a lot, doing a lot of community stuff. I know that it's important thing. Estela, what actually drives you to keep going in this space? What's your personal why that keeps you going, keeps you motivated?
Mm. I really love this question. Um, I think to sum it up, I would say people, but like on many layers, many levels.
Mm-hmm.
First is the members, the people that I'm constantly working with, empathizing with, and just being around. I think nothing beats anything else than just seeing a member succeed. um what am I saying by this is, for example, last week we had a member reach their 1000 sale and sharing in one of our communities, and that was the story of a mom who's making an extra income and like who learned through us. And these stories just give you like a reward, like the goosebumps. And it's the people in the communities that really make me feel rewarded and really spark my drive. And then there is also the people I'm working with and I'm inspired by, since my team and the people close to me are just very passionate as well, and light up when hearing like these stories, and really come to work with like um, go to behavior, go to action behavior, and we hype each other up and we are there for each other. So it's like the community within the community, and then all of the professionals I am surrounded by are really also an inspiration. So yeah, I think for me it's just people. I'm a people person. I think that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
the magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's big inspiration. And talking about people, about community, your talk at London Community Week is coming up soon. What will you be speaking about, and why is this topic so important right now for you and for other community managers?
I'm not going to spoil too much, but I'm very excited. I'm going to talk about UX for communities, designing member experiences that matter. I think the title kind of explains a little bit, but
Mhm.
I'm in essence borrowing a few principles from Google Design Sprint. And using them and applying them and showing how to apply them into community management, and how I am applying them and into community design. The idea is that great communities are not just launched like that. We need to be testing, improving, we need to be learning, and there are principles that we can use actually from user experience that we can use in community. And I
Okay.
think yeah, I think why I'm doing this is because expectations toward like community are leveling up, and I think we need to level with those as well, because communities are not just a space to hang out. Essentially they are that as well, but communities need to be very well built. They need to have the member led through a journey that really makes sense, and they need to be like very your favorite application that you're using, that
Yeah.
looks very slick, that looks very nice, it's intuitive, and you want to use it more and more. So yeah, leadership also, when you explain it like this, would understand the impact of community more. So I think UX thinking can really help that. So that's what I will be speaking
Mhm.
about.
You mentioned a bit, but what's one or some key takeaways you hope that the audience will leave with after your talk?
Mm. So yeah, my like highlighted sentence would be, great communities aren't just launched, they are intentionally designed. And I really want to stay on the intentional word, since intentional essentially means that it should start from the people and then come to us. So we really need to be intentional in the way we are designing the spaces for our members. So I really would like people to leave with that from me.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting and such a fresh take, because I think in the first topic that will be about UX and about all of the things. Can you share with us some points about business impact, or how you can measure something doing with UX? Yeah, and how you can measure the business success of doing better UX with your community. It's how you can do that.
Yeah, that's a very cool question, and it's something that I will be also touching upon in my speech. So essentially, in user experience design, everything is being tested. There is a lot of micro tests, there is a lot of prototypes, there is a lot of interviews. So you can essentially understand the impact of what you're doing very quickly without risking so much, through different tests, through different things. And I think that's very valuable for us if we manage to grasp if something is working in our community from the beginning or not. And essentially this very well connects to the business, because this drives growth. If everything is working and we manage to grasp it from like the beginning, then we are doing good, then we are growing. And this growth, I am measuring that in belonging, I think the most, because belonging drives behavior in our communities, and behavior in, especially in a print on demand community, drives revenue, because when our merchants, our members are successful, we are being successful. So I think when you measure the behavior, you really don't need to justify stuff. You're really measuring something that has impact. But on a more like, how would I say, not so storytelling level, we measure everything: surveys, activity, we A/B we test workflows, we test everything, and we measure everything. And I think this is at the key of not just user experience, but the whole experience that we are building. So yeah, it's business through belonging, I would say.
Love that. Love that. Still in it to my next team meeting, and we will be talking with them about our onboarding and about UX and all the things. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Let's flip the script for a moment, and just wanted to know a bit about your mistake or challenge that ended up and teaching you something valuable in your career. Yeah.
I think we have like more flops than we realize along the way, but I would never forget about when, like, I think 6 years ago, when I was working in marketing for a startup. For the startup, you just do a lot of things.
I think you do everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything.
yeah. So I was asked to create a community for founders on LinkedIn from like Tuesday to Friday. It was like, oh, you should do that, do that. And I was like, of course I will do it. So I built like a community, a LinkedIn group, in less than 72 hours, because I needed to also sleep, eat, all of that. And it was like a total failure. I will never forget that. I made everything like the banner. I invited some people, like I lost some social capital just to invite some people in that were like drivers and that were like people who we cared about, but I didn't speak to them. I just put them in a group, put like a message out, and I was like, okay, this probably will work. Although inside of myself, I knew it was not gonna work. So even after the first week, it was brutal. It was like cricket sounds. It was a ghost town. Nobody was doing anything. Actually, it was the first time I saw someone leave a LinkedIn group. Because when you when you join a group on LinkedIn, if it's not one that you follow that much, I'm not one of those people that I would leave, so you need to be intentional about leaving it. So yeah, we had people leave, and it was just ghost town, and it was like big failure. And then it took me 3 months to really consciously sit and
Mm.
try to rebuild the whole thing and talk to these people and convince some of them to come back. And yeah, it remained as like a lesson in my brain, that empathizing should come first, and being intentional about the people should come first when we design their experiences.
Yeah.
So never
It's
forgetting that moment.
I think we need sometimes to have such lessons so powerful, and but we become better, and it's okay. But yeah, yeah. What about proudest moments where you remember that with a big smile that you are proud of, some maybe project or some communities that you were involved?
Mm, I think the perk of our line of work is that there is a lot of things that make you feel like proud and make you feel joy and rewarded, since we do celebrate each other a lot. But if I need to think about a few of them, maybe along this past year, one of them would be when last year we doubled in just 1 year our member base in one of our flagship communities, and seeing like just those members come in, since we do have like a barrier to entry. We don't let everyone one in. We want everyone to come in, but there is like a few steps that we have to do before that. And just seeing how many high intent people came to us and how our acquisition efforts worked, from getting to 20K to 40K in 1 year, was like amazing. It was like a very nice flip and thing to celebrate. And then I think just even launching last year, um, maybe more than a year now, but around a year, our educational and mentorship club on Circle, that was a big one as well. Seeing how people valued the content and consumed the content was very cool, and seeing that they needed it and that we helped them learn and grow faster through that content was quite amazing. And I think the biggest like joy for me, through all of these combines, is just seeing how a member turns from like a guest into the community to a host through maybe our ambassadors program, or to just a high contributor. That's amazing. Or to a mentor even in the spaces. That's just so cool, and like really hypes me up and makes me feel joyful.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
joyful, and a big win. Amazing story. Actually, you working a lot with communities, with people, different projects. And what about trends? Are there any trends, Stella, or shifts in the digital or community world that you are especially paying attention to right now?
I love this question. So I'm following everything with like AI and all of that, but essentially I think also because of that, and also because like post COVID and like more recent years, I think the rise of small high intent spaces is gonna happen, like micro communities,
Mhm.
digital dinner parties, places where there is small amount of people, but quality people. And honestly, I think this just makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm trying to apply it myself, because I think the era of like big forums and that connection is kind of shifting. We are seeing more and more communities thriving, like smaller gatherings, only invite only lists, small curated spaces, small clubs,
I
niche communities. I really, really love that. And I think members feel safer in such environments. It's like, when you imagine, if you are at a stadium, you're not going to share your story at like a big
Yes,
event like
yes.
stadium, or like I'm going to speak now at the London community, but I'm actually more even excited to be there one on one with some of the people. So yeah, I think you can create deeper connection with like micro communities, and like there's not gonna be all of that noise even. So I'm trying to apply that into my work right now, and just I'm monitoring that and how that's gonna evolve.
Mhm.
our ambassador programs and all of that, and UXcape especially as well. So that's something I'm very excited to see, because I really do love tighter knit space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. Same from my side. I also love like different conferences, big events, but when you're talking private, one-on-one, or in a small group, of course, you have deeper insights and you deep dive into some different thoughts, problems. You are opened more, but yeah, I agree, 100% agree. It's a big trend now. Do you have your favorite tools or frameworks or some methods, maybe something from UX, UI, to lean on in your community work?
Mm, I have practices. I have different small things that I love doing, but something that I'm gonna also call out on my
Mhm.
talk is that we should aim at having at least 5 conversations daily or weekly with our members. Quick 5 calls or DMing some of them personally, not just the same people, like not the regular folks. Go into the DMs and spam someone that you haven't seen in a while. Just go to your members and just ask them. I love like 3 very simple questions that I think can give you a scope for like the next maybe week or even month, if it's something that you see repetitive. One of the question is, what's your biggest win lately? Because we really want to celebrate them. Then what's the hardest thing for you, and like something that you need help with? And then the last one is, if you could have like a magic wand, what could you fix right now? What would you change in your experience here? Well, like what we can give you.
You
And
mean here in, sorry, you mean here to change here in community? Yeah.
yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. And I think, yeah, obviously this needs to happen in a much more nurtured discussion, not just straightforward with the question, but like with the connection and everything. And I feel like when you go to the people like this, patterns show up fast. And this comes also from UX. It's called empathizing with your members, and just you make them feel heard like this as well. Because sometimes, especially when you're in a huge community, you might think you're forgotten, which is bad.
Yes.
But the point is, when also someone like me or someone that you haven't seen in a while comes to you, it's very nice. Even for me, it would be nice to have that. So that's a
Mhm.
little thing that I do.
This is a big goal for every community managers, and I think it's a really like a small frame, these three simple questions, but then you can change a lot of things just with a small conversation with your member. Yeah, it's a big goal. Thank you for sharing. What advice would you give to someone who just starting to think about community that grows?
Something that I even try to remind myself sometimes is to just stay human, because sometimes you might get like rounded up by the strategy or by something that you're asked to create or do or whatever. But I think we shouldn't forget to be unapologetically human and stay human. What I mean by this is to lead with empathy. I know this is kind of a buzzword, but I really think it's at the core of what we do. And keeping ourselves open, our DMs open, and just don't underestimate the power of even a meme or a GIF sent to someone. It's very means a lot. And I think if you can make even just one member feel seen and feel appreciated each day, the strategy and everything else will fix itself up and will come about. I
Yeah.
think that's one.
Yeah, Estela, I think I have a last one question about the future. If you had to describe your vision for the future of communities in just 3 words, what would they be?
Mm. Maybe from like my talk and everything even that I said here, if you run it back you would understand. But I think the first one is human, shared, and then designed. Obviously, I think this combined. It's simple but powerful.
Wow. Estelle, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure hearing your story, insights, your passion for community-led business growth. So thank you. Thank you so much. And see you in London. See you at London Community Week.
Thank you so much. I really hope this was pleasant and useful. I really had a fun time with you. So thank you for inviting me, and I can't wait to have like a one-on-one in London and then see each other there. Thank you so much.
Cool. We'll organize that, I promise. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much and see you.
See you. Thank you.